Right, we are recording, and it's 18. Is Mother Hall or Holly in Grimm's Fairy Tales. And I like this one. I really do like this one. The moral is clear, for one thing, which is nice. I mean, some of them, it's weird. Like, is it there? Is it just a story? Am I just not picking it up? Um, no, this one definitely has a clearer, clear moral to it, and it's also kind of funny. At least I find it kind of funny. I might be a little sick and twisted in the head, though. I'm okay with that. So, premise is, and by the way, if you have watched The Twilight Zone enough, there is one episode, the one with the two kids that dive into the pool and then come out into this other world. And I think they meet Tom Sawyer as one of them. Maybe it's I don't remember which of the Mark Twain boy characters it is, but that whole thing, and the parents are contemplating getting divorced. That episode is inspired by this story. Anyway, so we have here a woman with two daughters. One pretty and industrious, the other ugly and idle. She likes the ugly and idle one better because that's her actual daughter, the other is a stepdaughter. Why is this always the case? I actually do wonder about that a little bit. Why that seems to be such the cliche, such the trope. But then it did occur to me, perhaps it's because, like the redheaded stepchild kind of thing, in that the stepchild is, especially to the mother, because did not bear her, would always be an outsider, potentially. Or at least be difficult, harder to, if not a good person, if the mother is not a good person, not a good woman, to accept her as a daughter. So it may be intentional there to always have it be, like, set aside, which is unfortunate, and not how stepchildren should ever be treated, but yeah, is what it is, kind of. But anyway, yeah, so has that whole situation there. And one thing actually funny, and I do wonder how much of this is translation versus how much of it is these fairy tales, they had their impact on the world that they were being told in. Because, and the other, who was his stepdaughter, was obliged to do all the work and be the Cinderella of the house. That's literally what is written in here. So that could be from the translation. It could be that whoever translated it decided to put it in there. Or it could be Cinderella was both an old enough story at this point and a popular enough story that it's already had its impact on the lexicon. That's completely reasonable. Think about it this way. It's only about 40 years old, the show MacGyver. But MacGyver, it became a verb. It's like even within like a decade or two afterwards. Which also reminds me of something kind of funny, because I think Walker Texas Ranger was technically at about the same, that they were contemporaneous than MacGyver. And it's just one of those things. Walker Texas Ranger became a meme. MacGyver has a definition. It's in the dictionary. It's like, yeah, technically MacGyver wins. If people actually watch that, there might be someone that would be annoyed by that statement, even though it's technically true. Anyhow, so as the stepdaughter is doing her chores, which one of them refers to her using a shuttle, which means that she is doing some sort of weaving. So that's, because I do have some vague familiarity with this. So the shuttle is, how with weaving, you have, the different threads like that. You use the shuttle to like draw the thread through, and then you would change it and draw it back, and just back and forth like that on loop. So that's the shuttle, and she accidentally like cuts herself from the work, so it's stained on there. So she puts in the well to try to wash it off, doesn't come off, tries again, and accidentally drops it. Goes tells the stepmother, and what does the stepmother say? We better dive in after it. Like I said, why is this the cliche? Well, I as I said, it may be so that there's always that view of this one is the outsider, or at least is being treated as the outsider. Anyhow, she dives in, loses her senses, and instead of drowning, wakes up in a beautiful meadow. And as she's going, some things happen. She hears bread in an oven calling out to be taken out before it's burned. She does that. keeps going, encounters an apple tree where the apples are saying, "We're ripe, shake the tree so we'll fall." She does that. Then she arrives at a house and finds Mother Hall, who at first scares her because she has large teeth, which would make sense as far as it being something uncanny, in that kind of uncanny valley thing, where it's a human face, but something is off, and it's just off enough from what you expect. It's like, what is it? But before she can run off, Mother Hall just starts talking to her and is very kind in her voice, so it keeps her there. Does that, and basically what Mother Hall says is, "You take care of all the chores in the house, including shaking my bed, and shake it to the point." This would be like to help fluff it up, to help prepare it for her to sleep. But you do that enough for the feathers to come out and basically be falling like snow. You do that, and you'll get to stay here, kind of thing. You'll be fine. Here. Let me actually see how to put it. If you will do all the work in the house properly, you shall be the better for it. So, be taken care of and all that. And it does in fact say that she had a pleasant life with her, never an angry word, and she was given boiled or roast meat every day. So very much a better life than she has been having. Despite that, however, she actually does want to go back. She starts feeling homesick, and Mother Hall understands this. That's fine. That's good. Takes her to a door. It's like, so she can go through that. But while she's standing in the doorway, gold is poured on top of her. Now, one thing, it doesn't indicate, like, are they talking about gold coins that are bouncing off her? I think it's more so like, yeah, and all the gold remained sticking to her. So in theory, I'm assuming it's more something of a fluid, and that it clings, and so she gets there, and there's, actually do need to read this because there's something funny that happens later with it. The cock, so the rooster there, seeing her standing by the well, because she's now returned a short distance from the stepmother's home. "Cock-a-doodle-doo, your golden girls come back to you," the cock cries. And they're actually happy to see her. But it's also, she's covered with gold. So she's now very valuable. I mean, it comes off, but it's still. So they're happy. She relates everything that happens. And because, it's a wicked stepmother and wicked stepsister, they're greedy. So they plan for the ugly and idle real daughter, to basically repeat this. And so she falsely basically does sit down at the well, does all the stuff, pricks her finger on a thorn intentionally to get blood on the shuttle. Oh, and by the way, Mother Hall did also give the good daughter, the stepdaughter, back the shuttlecock for her to... Oh, wait, no, it wouldn't be a shuttlecock, just a shuttle, sorry. To have that with her, because that is why she originally came down. So the evil daughter, the ugly daughter, does all that, drops it in, dives in after it, and then comes out in the same place, in the same beautiful meadow. Here's the bread calling to be taken out. Why would I get dirty? Here's the apples calling to be shaken from the tree. You'd fall on my head and hurt me. Keeps going, finds Mother Hall, and it's like, okay, I know if I'm nice to her, I'll get this gold and all that. So, is there. And the first day is good. A second day, she is getting kind of lazy. And then eventually gets to the point where she doesn't even get out of bed. And so Mother Hall's like, all right, get out of my house. And the daughter's like, oh, well, that's fine, because if I go now, I'll get the shower of gold, and it'll be all wonderful. Uh-huh. Not quite. This is the reward for your service. Because while staying beneath the great door, instead of the gold, a big kettleful of pitch was emptied on her. So the lazy girl went home, but she was quite covered with pitch, and the cock by the well side, as soon as she saw her, cried out, "Cock-a-doodle-doo, your pitchy girls come back to you." But the pitch stuck fast to her and could not be got off as long as she lived. And it's just, I am wondering, if it's just accidental that pitchy is near a different term that I'm sure accurately describes the behavior and temperament of that girl. I wonder if it is just coincidence that that's the case today, or if that would have been a joke back then, which is very possible. I remember one thing. I just never remember which it was, if it was like Mozart or Bach, but one of them, what, because we have correspondence from them, and by the way, you would see this in a lot of other stuff, and a lot of other things, that they would have dark or rude senses of humor, you might say, and obviously was writing in German, but used a word for friend that's actually kind of like this. It's similar to another word for sex, and was actually referring to somebody that way, and it just was and it was in the letter to the person too. So I mean, the person would at least be the guy writing at least felt would understand and be amused by the joke instead of offended, as some would be. But so it is possible that was completely intentional. I just don't know, because I do not know the etymology for those two words, and then when the story would have been written. But it is not unreasonable to me that that is in fact intentional. Intentional at the time, because yes, these would have been translated. It's possible that today they would also, well, true, we may have gotten the words from German, as I'm pretty sure Grimm's were German. So maybe that we just, it continued on, or it could be whoever translated decided to make that joke. But yeah, so the moral is pretty clear about don't be idle and lazy. There's certainly that, but also being of good faith. Because as I said, the ugly daughter went to Mother Hall falsely. She lied. Instead of it being she was working hard, and it just happened to cause her to like split her finger open, and so she bled a little. No, she pricked her finger on a thorn to get the blood specifically to cause this, and then go there. She then also wasn't there to actually help, to actually earn the gold. She was, because in that case, she would have helped the bread. She would have taken the bread out. She would have helped the apples, because it would all be part of the good faith of going there to try to earn that gold. But instead, it's like, well, no, she's only here to get that gold, which means in her mind, she only needs to satisfy Mother Hall. So she goes in, then it's well, I'm here and I've done a little bit, so that means I get whatever I want, right? I mean, it's like, no, this isn't how that works. And there are people like that, very much like that in real life, who think that, once they do the minimum that qualifies them for everything, while those who do the work that actually earn the reward, well, I mean, they earn the reward, so hopefully they get it, but then you have the other people that see that and think, I can just do the minimum, and that's enough. That's not how it works. In one was a volunteer position, but I remember hearing one story that I wasn't privy to it at the time, but somebody who, a volunteer position with a company. And one thing is that the position I was in is one that is well known in that industry, that type of position would get you then a leg up in applications other places, because it is desirable experience. And apparently one person who got on the team then shortly after was like, okay, so when can I start working for the company? It's like, that's not how that works. I mean, it's like, you need to be on the team for a while, for one thing, for them to get to know you, learn if you are in fact a good fit for any position here. I mean, but you do have people like that. Now, to be fair, I'm not saying that person, I don't even remember who it was, and I'm not saying that person wouldn't have been qualified, but there is a certain level of bad faith there. And bad faith is too extreme, though. Let's say poor faith instead. Thinking that just that taking that small step is enough for what is actually a very large step, which would be employment, especially compared to others of us who were on the team for years and didn't necessarily take that, weren't getting that same large step forward. I think on that team, I think 2 people were formally hired. A third did some contract work for them. I was never formally hired, and I don't think I would have wanted to be just a situation that I wouldn't have wanted to move there, and also some things that have learned since with how they managed things, I would not have been happy there. Just leave it at that. Yeah. I guess a way to put it is this. And this actually may be a good way to put it. Whether it's you write a book, whether it's you make a YouTube channel, it would be like the good daughter here. Put the work in to try to make sure like the story is unique and new. Made sure that it was well edited, well formatted, all that. Put all that effort in. And it sold. Achieved success there. Made a YouTube channel, did all the right things, put the effort in, and let it build up for. Because we also don't know how long she's actually with Mother Holle. She may have been working there for weeks or months even. But the ugly daughter, first day she worked herself diligently. Second day she began to be lazy, and on third day still more so. And then she would not get up in the morning at all. So fourth day, she's already not doing anything. So that's very little work. Whereas, as I said, I'm just trying to see. She stayed some time. So this is for the good girl. She stayed some time with Mother Holle, and then she became sad. So we actually don't. Nothing is being said here for how long, but it may have been for far longer. So just with YouTube, it's like somebody who puts the effort in to build up a channel to get subscribers, to get the likes, to do things that are of interest to people, and to do so honestly, with sincerity. I mean, this is one thing that I do see some people talk about, the concept of verisimilitude, which is the appearance of sincerity and honesty and such. That actually maintaining that and being that, being honest with it, not just saying things people want you to say. It's like that's what the good girl did, the good daughter did, whereas the ugly daughter, the stepsister, the actual daughter versus the stepdaughter, basically say, "Oh, you wrote a book and was so successful? Okay, I'll write a book then." And it would be like writing one chapter that's really good, but then the second one is not so good and short, and the third one it's like, yeah, whatever, just puts down, and so it's filled with errors, it doesn't make sense, things like that, and being like, and pointing out there and be like, well, I should succeed because you wrote this book, so, and you succeeded, so clearly that's all you need to do. It's like, that's not how. Or the YouTube channel, like, same thing. It's like getting one really good video, but then the next one isn't that good, and then the third one it would be somebody who thinks that just doing that is enough, and it's not. It is, you got to do the continuous, you got to keep putting the effort in, even if, and in my experience, even if it doesn't turn out to anything, still keep putting the effort in. I mean, this is, I'm actually surprised how many subscribers this channel has, but notice I forget always to say things like and subscribe. It's actually more so I forget, but it's also, I do this because I enjoy doing it. I'm going to keep doing it because I enjoy doing it. It's only when it's like I'm not going to have the time to do it, or if the enjoyment is actually diminishing, then I'm going to stop. And there actually is one channel that I stopped doing, in part so that I had time to do this one. And that one was a bit more involved. That one, I did complete game playthroughs, but I would actually be on, I have it right here, this. It's on oximeter, so you'd see my real-time heart rate monitor. I also have a gaze tracker. My desktop's here. So that you could see me, and it's like doing stuff like that. But I stopped because it was much harder to do, because that was like 30-40 minute video, 30 to 40 minute long video, sometimes longer. And I would sit and basically spend a week potentially going through a game, getting all that, and it is physically stressful. Like, you can't really move when you're on an oximeter or you lose the data. So I mean, yeah, but I did that for years. I did that for many years, never breaking my schedule, until I decided that, nope, going to focus on this. This just decided it should be a higher priority. Still the other channel. May go back to it at some point. Don't know. But this one, it's actually funny. This actually has as many subscribers as that one, despite this is only about coming up on a year old now, I think, and the other one was like 5-6 years old. Actually, that might be 7. Let's just say 6. Whatever. But it's like, for me, as I said, I do this because I enjoy doing this. It'd be great if it were somehow successful. I'd love that. That would be amazing. It would make it easier for me to prioritize it. Make it easier for me to do some other things. Would I change the channel? Probably not. I mean, no, I'm serious. Like the only thing I would change, but it would take like actually moving, would be to have a proper studio setup. So instead of using digital background removal like this, the so supposedly AI thing, but actually like have a background that either you can see, I don't mind using, or using chroma keying. Like that would be it. Maybe a different mic setup, but I'm actually I like my mic. It's a nice mic. It would just be stuff like that. The rest of the content I probably wouldn't change. Yeah. Although I will acknowledge this, and I'm done now. I will acknowledge this. I am curious. I know it's going to be a while, and it kind of annoys me that I know it's going to be a while. There's a part of me that wants to just start doing the assigned reading videos on my books, because it's like, I really do want to go in and start talking about them. I am going to be interested to see how those work. Because as I said, I don't think people really watch these. That's fine. I don't know if there would be people watching those, but it still is I like the idea. When I read through these, I share stories. Like if I'm sharing a story to give a commentary on it, not just analysis. That is something that's like, I think there's a connection there, I'm not sure. Or just, hey, it happens to relate. Happens to be familiar. But when it gets to my stories, it's like, I can tell you everything, and I want to talk about these things. They're awesome. To me, my stories are awesome. To other people, maybe not. But still, it's like, I'm looking forward to that. So that will be interesting when getting to that. Putting the work in to get to that and doing that and seeing what happens. If not, I think the most I could realistically hope for is that people watch it just and enjoy it somewhat, because there's some channels I look at. Is the fundamental thing that they're doing interesting? No, but they're passionate people. I mean, I shouldn't say it's not interesting. It is interesting. It's just not really in my sphere. But I look at it because they are so passionate people that they make it more interesting. You get to those stories, hopefully you'll see my passion, because I am going to be passionate about it. But that's going to be a while. I wish it wasn't going to be so long a while, but it's going to be a while because of I don't want to be doing that, because that will entail doing some other things off camera. At the same time, I'm trying to write the book that I'm currently writing. So, or write any book. So yeah, it's just, I don't want that kind of mental conflict if I start doing scheduling conflicts. But hey, maybe at that point I will be lucky, and I'm not even going to say what the term that entered my mind concerning the gold. But maybe at that point my industriousness will actually pay off. Or it won't. That's okay, because I'm doing it anyway. The good girl. Why did she do that? Because she was asked to do it. She didn't do it expecting that reward. I mean, it was just basically, yeah, I'll take care of you if you live here. Feed you and all that. That's enough for her. That's all she wanted. She chose to do it. The reward was on top of that. I'm choosing to do this. If there's a reward of attention or people start reading the books, cool. But I'm happy to do this anyway, because it's fun. I enjoy it. And I do believe it helps me become a better writer. All right. Got the cursor on top of the button, so. Oh, hang on. See you next time for the White Snake. Yeah, that's the name of it. We got. Oh, that's actually a very interesting plate. The image there is kind of interesting. Okay. See you then.